Now, except the federal government meets the demands of resident doctors in 2 weeks, the doctors will withdraw their services at medical facilities across the country. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors issued a 2-week ultimatum to government to return to the implementation of all pending agreements or they will go on strike. The association gave the ultimatum after its extraordinary National Executive Council meeting on Wednesday. The doctors are demanding, among other things, an immediate increment in the Consolidated Medical Salary Structure with 200% of the current gross salary of doctors. We're now joined by the president of the National Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Emeka Orji, to discuss this development a little further. Thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you.
A 2-week ultimatum to commence implementation of all pending agreements or industrial disharmony. The new administration is just a month in. Some would say, let them settle in. Why now?
Okay, thank you for having me. You see, if you recall, sometime in April this year, we had cause to issue an ultimatum, and that ultimatum eventually led to a warning strike of 5 days, where we highlighted a number of challenges affecting the health sector and our members. During the period of that warning strike, the then Honorable Minister of Labour and Employment called for a conciliatory meeting where a number of agreements were reached. Many of those agreements are things that any government, whether the previous or this current government, can actually do in a matter of days. One of them is the issue of the payment of the 2023 Medical Residency Training Fund. For this year, we were promised that by June, once the 2023 fiscal year becomes operational, that money will be paid. And up till now, it hasn't been paid. We are promised that the circular on one-for-one replacement of doctors and nurses that have left the system. In fact, the MOU we signed at the end of that conciliatory meeting, it was stated clearly that that circular will be released on the 5th of June, 2023. This is more than 1 month after. That circular is yet to be released by the Office of the Head of Service. And you see, this is a very...
sorry to interject. We have so much to cover. This is a new administration. You just referenced that the agreement was with the previous Labour Minister. Has there been an interaction between your body and the current administration on the issues that were accepted and agreed upon by the previous administration?
The conciliatory meeting we had, if you look at the memorandum of understanding that was signed with the government, that MOU was signed by permanent secretaries from all the agencies involved. These people are not politicians. They are civil servants, highly placed civil servants. They are still there. They are still in this government. There's no reason why these things should not be done. And I was going to say, if you go around our hospitals, we have massive manpower shortage. Our members are dying. Our members are breaking down because they are not able to cope anymore with the enormity of work required of them. Part of the demands we are making is that they should recruit people to replace those who have left because of brain drain. And a stopgap measure was proposed and adopted, which is called one-for-one replacement. That circular, they promised us that it will be released on the 5th of June so that the chief medical directors across the country will leverage on that to quickly replace doctors and nurses who have left the system. This is a very important demand. There's no reason why that circular cannot come out tomorrow. And we have a number of other issues. See, the essence of issuing an ultimatum is to put government on notice that these challenges still exist and that we need them to intervene quickly before the expiration of that ultimatum. During the meeting today, a lot of people even moved for an immediate strike action because we have issued ultimatums severally on this matter, starting from last year. But what we have been getting is that government will quickly call us, we draft a memorandum of understanding. When we go back to, when we suspend the ultimatum, everybody just goes away. There's no reason why you will start an agreement with a body like now, and up till now, on about 8 issues, you have not implemented one. Not one has been implemented.
The list.
So we want the government.
The list of demands that you have, you just listed, and we've been scrolling some of them on the screen as you were speaking. Some would say it's quite long, from salaries to infrastructure to recruitment and to allowance backlog. Is there a priority list for you that once kicked off will show seriousness to tackle the demand? And again, I don't think I quite got you, whether you said it. Has there been an interaction between your body and the current administration? If yes, what are they saying?
Throughout last month and this month, up to this moment, we have been crisscrossing the ministries and meeting various government representatives. It has been promises upon promises. They kept making these promises until all the timelines set in the memorandum of understanding we signed 5 weeks ago, until all the timelines passed. And you see, what we do as a National Officers Committee, that when we keep negotiating and our members are reaching out to us and getting worried, we call them back to brief them on the level of implementation or otherwise of the issues at stake. And it is for them to give us that directive. And they just give us directive to place government on notice again that in 2 weeks' time, if these demands are not met, we cannot guarantee industrial harmony in the health sector nationwide.
Okay, each time you announce strike like this, I always ask, what happens to your patients? The Vanguard earlier today reported that a middle-aged woman has allegedly lost her life in Nasarawa State as no doctor was on hand to attend to her following a 5-day warning strike. This one, I think it's at the state level, at the state-owned specialist hospital. How do you ensure you don't cause more harm while pressing for your demands?
Well, the patients and the doctors, we are all citizens of this country. I just told you that our members are dying, they are breaking down. And I must say that I'm not bluffing. If you send your people around or if you come for a very detailed interview, I can mention names of people who have been breaking down because of the weight of work, because of the inability of government to resolve many of these challenges. So even part of the hypocritical we took is that we also have to attend to our own health and well-being for us to be able to offer, care of higher standards to the patient. So if the doctor is dying because of the burnout effect of brain drain and government has not addressed it, do we continue to die? Why?
Certainly not. But then again,
people have to think about.
It's a responsibility. It's your mandate. So I will always have to. I mean, a lot of people will ask you about that. What are your hopes? Do you see the possibility? This is a new administration and they have a lot of promises. Do you see a possibility that this government will step in between now and next week to stop you from embarking on strike?
We believe that they have the capacity to resolve this matter in days. Incidentally, many of the people in this current government, they are actually very much in tune with those challenges that we've talked about.
All right, Doctor.
Attention is not being paid to us, and that's why we've come to this. But we hope that within this 1 week or two, they should be able to interface with us to resolve these challenges before the expiration of the 2 weeks.
Dr. Orji, thank you very much. And of course, as always, we wish you the very best with your push.